Hey guys, Probable1701, and today on It's Armageddon, we're going to be looking at the Fourth Doctor. So, one of my fellow Doctor Who contributors, Paul, he mentioned in a comment he wanted me to do an It's Armageddon series talking about the Doctors and which 5 stories I would say from each Doctor. I thought that sounded like a good idea, so we're continuing that today with the Fourth Doctor, and we are going to look at, if Armageddon was happening, and I could only save 5 Fourth Doctor stories, which 5 would I save? And that's not an easy thing to pick, especially with the Fourth Doctor, because he has 42 stories, and so many of them are amazing. But I started off, of course, with Genesis, because it's Genesis. I mean, you have to save Genesis. It's one of the best Dalek stories ever made. It's one of the best Fourth Doctor stories ever made. It's one of the best Doctor Who stories ever made. It's iconic for a reason. Every time the Doctor and Davros interact, it's magic. It's just amazing. It's gold. It's legendary. The Doctor's "Do I Have the Right" speech is just legendary. There's so much going on in this story. I think this is the best we ever see Davros is in this story. I absolutely love Michael Wisher playing Davros. It's Genesis. You have to have Genesis. For number 2, I went with The Ark in Space. I do think it's a very solid story. I love everything going on in it. There are a couple of the cliffhangers I think are really, really nice. Tom has his speech about humans in it that's really good. I also love when he's helping motivate Sarah Jane through the vent. I think it's a really, really good story. And deserves saving. Number 3 is City of Death. This is my favorite Doctor Who story of all time. I love City of Death. It's also one of the most popular Doctor Who stories of all time for a reason. It's got Douglas Adams' humor written all over it, as he did help write the story. It's phenomenal. You have Tom Baker and Lala both put in a great performance. All of the guest actors put in a great performance. It has some beautiful location work in Paris filmed. You can tell they put a good bit of season 17's budget into this story, and it really shows. It's a magnificent story, and definitely, easily, I think, even objectively, people would agree that it's easily the best post-Hinchcliffe story for the Fourth Doctor. Next on the list, I went with Pyramids of Mars. Aside from the mummies not looking so great, I think this story is flawless. I think it has probably the best one-off villain in all of Doctor Who. I love Sutekh in this. I love how Gabriel voices him in this with that instead of being loud and bombastic like Omega it has that quiet whisper. So much more intimidating, really. The way he's when you realize how powerful Sutekh is, and the fact he only loses because he underestimates the Doctor, and thinks of him as an insect, he doesn't think he can be of any consequence. It's such a good story. The visuals to it are also really, really good. I love when the guy walks out and puts his hand on the other guy's shoulder, and you see the smoke rising up as he kills him. It's just visually so pleasing to watch Pyramids of Mars. Such a good story. Oh, and that scene when they go to the alternate future and see the Earth just desolate, desolate, decimated. Yeah. That's the stuff that can give you nightmares right there. Nightmare fuel. And then the 5th one was really hard. I kept going back and forth between Seeds of Doom and Talons, although Shada was also knocking at the door too, because I love Shada. Because I probably prefer Seeds of Doom to Talons a bit. It's really hard to pick. I ended up going with Talons on the list though, just because I'd already saved a few of the horror ones. And while Talons does have its own horror stuff going on, I do think Talons is a good story. It's held in high regard for a reason. Again, Tom is really good in this. I think Leela is really good in this. I love the villain in it with Grell. I think he's a fascinating character. I love when we find out who he is and how the Doctor explains to him, nope, everything you did was a scientific cul-de-sac. I love that line. I think it's a really good story, as much as I love Seeds of Doom as well. I went with Talons. That would be my 5th one. So those are my top 5. Genesis of the Daleks, Ark in Space, City of Death, Pyramids of Mars, and the Talons of Wing Chang. Those are the ones I picked. It's not easy to pick because I do love Tom Baker so much. He's such a good Doctor. I would like to know not only what you think of my list, but the 5 you would pick as well. So comment down below and let me know the top 5 you would save in this situation. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video Or, if you have time, there's a link down below to my Patreon page. Check that out and see if you would like to become one of my patrons. My entry-level tier is only $2 a month if you see anything there that would interest you. Most importantly, though, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.